Hello and welcome to Zgermanguy Reviews. And welcome back, my friends, to another edition of Kingdom Hearts, a retrospective. Well, I would say don't let us waste any time and jump right in. Our heroes return to Port Royal to see what Jack is up to, and as usual, he is in trouble. I still can't believe that this is actually part of the lore now. What's next? A Deadpool cameo? Actually, that would be pretty awesome. Anyway, we fight off the undead pirates, and naturally Sora wonders how that can be. After all, they broke the curse. Jack figures someone must have found the Aztec gold again, so that means our next stop is Isla de Muerta to find the thief and end this B-horror movie once and for all. On the high seas, we find Will Turner, who also was on his way to the island to investigate. He tells us that he and his crew have been attacked by a man in a black hood and his army of monsters, and that he is the only one who made it out alive. We get a surprise visit by the Organization 13 member called Luxord, who sends a Heartless at us. Just when it looks like we are about to win, Luxord shouts Parley. Meaning, for those of you who are unfamiliar with pirate speak, means that he wants to suggest a deal. Luxord is ready to give us the gold, but wants to keep a few medallions for himself. This, of course, is a bullcrap deal, since we need all the medallions to break the curse. And it's apparent that Luxord knows this himself, and that all of this really was just a distraction tactic to execute his master plan. Send an undead Heartless at us. I am not sure that should actually work. For one thing, the Heartless are already kind of undead. Second, why does the curse only affect his minions? He was the one who took the gold. But yeah, the boss Heartless blasts us to Will's ship, and Luxord fires the cannons. You guys, I don't think that was the voice of the captain. The three friends and Jack wake up at a ship graveyard, and Jack has become undead again, but he claims he hasn't stolen anything this time, so there's a new mystery to solve as well.
Maybe the reason we're all okay is because we're not from this world.
There must be different laws.
Yeah. We're always just passing through. Wonder when we'll see home again.
Sora.
Just kidding you.
That's right, Sora. Take all the sorrow and pain and bury them deep inside, where they can eat you up. That's the healthy way to do it. Now the group has to find the nobodies who are in possession of the missing medallions. After they found them all, the group needs to put them back in the treasure chest, and Sora knows exactly where it might be. And that place is Port Royal, since after all, the organization is after people's hearts mainly, so they will be wherever there are many people. Sora's guess was right, and they find the undead Heartless guarding the treasure chest. Quick question, why the hell did you take it with you? If you wanted to keep Sora busy so you can attack the city, why didn't you just throw medallions overboard while you were on your way? Why don't you take the treasure chest with you back to Organization 13's headquarters? I joked before that Sora should just curse himself to be unbeatable, but you actually can do that. If it works for the Heartless, surely it will work for nobodies. I mean, what would change? You are already without feelings. Which to me raises the question, why wasn't Barbossa a candidate for your little club? Or is there a sign outside saying, only for anime characters? After we put the medallions back in the chest, the Heartless becomes, well, alive again. but Jack is still a skeleton. So Goofy figures it wasn't the curse that made him this way, it was the dark magic of the Heartless. Oh, so the Heartless just casually know necromancy. Of course, I guess they are also minions of the Burning Legion. The Heartless goes down, Jack returns to normal, and we do what we maybe should have done the first time we were here. Let the damn treasure chest sink to the bottom of the ocean. Then Jack asks for a reward. He wants our Keyblade. But of course, he isn't the chosen one, so it flies right back in our hands.
Maybe someday Jack will be able to use the Keyblade after all.
Why's that?
Yeah, he and Sora are kind of alike, don't you think?
Yeah, Goofy, no, I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Also, Nomura, was that just a hint for a spin-off game that you are planning?
He and Sora are kind of alike, don't you think?
Are not?
Speaking of skeletons, in Halloween Town we run into the other Jack, who just collected some presents that were lying around on the ground, and he thought he should bring them back to his pal Santa, while still wearing the old suit. Oh Jack, you seriously need professional help. Santa is thankful for the return of the presents, but he tells us that there are many more that have been stolen. Obviously, Jack is the first who is suspected to be the culprit, but he assures old Sandy he had nothing to do with it. Seriously, I am absolutely normal now. All I do is just stay up till 4 in the morning, standing in front of a mirror going, "Why can't I be Santa? Why can't I be Santa?" But he realizes there's only one way to clear his name, finding the real thief. However, our discussion gets interrupted by noises that are coming from the workshop. It's Lock, Shock and Barrel, who show absolutely no respect for property rights. We stop the 3 vandalizing devils by putting them in 3 big boxes.
Hi, Penny. Hi, guys.
They claim they weren't stealing presents, but instead were searching for things Dr. Finkelstein could use for his latest experiment. Shortly after, Sally shows up and tells us the Heartless have returned and that she saw them playing with presents in Town Square.
You can't be here! Leave Halloween Town by order of the mayor!
You are Satan's little helpers! Act like it! After some more battles, Dr. Finkelstein cries for help, saying that his experiment has been stolen. We tell him that we think it was the Heartless, but Dr. Finkelstein replies that this assumption is preposterous, that what attacked him was nothing like one of the dark creatures. They start to think, and Jack has a brilliant idea. The thief likes to steal Christmas presents, so they just have to put a bunch of presents in one place, then he will show up. With the help of Santa, we choose a suitable spot for our plan. But first, Christmas present machine gun! I'm gonna fill you up with Christmas cheer so hard right now! Our trap is set and the thief actually does show up. It was Dr. Finkelstein's experiment all along, and holy Christ, this thing creeps me out. I don't know what it is, but somehow this monstrosity speaks to me on a psychological level. This looks like it belongs in Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Let me tell you about the heart. Let me tell you about the heart. This video will get super creepy any minute now. Anyway, we defeat the malfunctioning robot and Santa Claus gives Jack a very special present this Christmas. He lets him ride his sleigh, so he can feel what it is like to be Santa. Oh, that's very nice. It might just trigger another psychotic episode, but that's very nice. Back in Halloween Town, we discuss the events with Dr. Finkelstein. Sora tells the doctor that Santa thinks the machine wanted a heart. They still, however, wonder why it then was stealing presents. And Sally explains it is because giving someone else a present is a way of giving someone else your heart. Jack returns from his little adventure and Santa makes it snow for Halloween Town. When Sally comments that this is an incredible present, Jack is confused and asks where the box and red ribbon is. Sora tells him it's not the box that is important, but what's inside it. But Sally disagrees. It's not the present or the decoration or any of that stuff that's important, but the act of giving itself, making others happy. That's what Christmas is all about. Charlie Brown, where are you? Come quick, you need to defend your title as Best Christmas Special. With that little speech in his mind, Jack is finally free from his obsession, feeling happiness again, and he wants to give Sally something in return, but she replies that all she ever wanted was to be with him, and then they start dancing like Beauty and the Beast, or in this case, Beast and the Beast. Seeing these two lovebirds reminds Sora that Kairi also used to value the time she spent with him above all else, and Sora starts imagining himself dancing with her. Sora and Kairi sitting in the tree. K-I-S-S-E-N-G. Hashtag cutest couple. With Halloween and Christmas Town safe, we can move on. In Agrabah, we visit the peddler again from a while back, who seems to have upgraded his shop. But when Aladdin storms in, it is revealed that the tradesman has stolen Jafar's magic lamp, and for some reason the three get a flashback after hearing his name.
Jafar!
Give me the magic lamp, Aladdin. And now, street rats, I bid you farewell. Crush those urchins.
Ah, yes. Good times. But seriously, what was that? Did they forgot who he was and needed a quick reminder that yes, indeed, he was an evil dude doing evil stuff? Come to think of it, this is fucking ridiculous. Time and time again, this game confuses the fuck out of me, and now, just now, Nomura thinks to himself, you know what? Better let our protagonist have a flashback in this moment. The player needs to know what is going on. You are a troll, man. You are a fucking troll. Screw you! Anyways, Iago claims he knows where Jafar is, but visibly doesn't want to say it. After Aladdin insists, he reluctantly tells us that Jafar is in the old ruins a few kilometers from the city. But when we arrive there, Jafar is nowhere to be found. It turns out, Iago was forced by Jafar to bring us here so he won't be interrupted when he attacks the city. However, Sora and the others tell him that this was a no-go. Iago begs for forgiveness and clumsily activates a leftover Indiana Jones trap. We fly through the collapsing ruins, instead of just flying up and avoiding all the chaos, and return to Agrabah. Meanwhile, Jafar chained up Yasmin like a sex slave. There are so many horny Disney villains.
And gypsies don't do well inside stone walls.
What are you doing?
Jafar tells her that Aladdin should be sandworm food by now, but he is quickly proven wrong. In anger, he fires a magic laser beam at Aladdin, but Iago sacrifices himself to save him. The former advisor of the Sultan transforms into a giant devil guy and throws half of the buildings in the city at us. But in a battle, Genie with cosmic powers versus Boy on a fly carpet, the victor is of course Boy with giant key. Then, after the battle, Genie, we never got his real name, shows up, complaining he wasn't allowed to help. But thankfully, there's a city that needs to be repaired.
Oh yeah! One super duper spruced up Agrabah coming right up. You won't even recognize the place when I'm through with it.
Just like it was, please.
Really? Same old, same old?
Yes, you should just make Agrabah the way it was before. With striking poverty and crime rates that make even Batman quit. No improvement needed. Although Iago's wrongdoings are forgiven, he still feels as if he isn't a good friend, since he can't do much for Aladdin. But Sora explains that is not what friendship is about.
Oh no, it's not like that, Iago. Friends don't have to do stuff. As long as you have fun hanging out together, that's all that matters.
So, what do you guys do for fun?
I am with the cool kids now. Back in the Pride Lands, it appears Simba's agricultural policies have yet to go into effect, since the kingdom still looks like shit. Well, Donald Trump's expert for economics was also some random guy he found on Amazon. So I guess Simba took inspiration from that and put a Let's Player for Farming simulator in his government. We run into the hyena gang, or more precisely, they run into us. And we ask how Simba is doing. And if I interpret their reaction correctly, he is not doing so good in the latest polls.
One more time.
Simba! Simba!
We run over to Pride Rock and an evil ghost of Scar appears and then disappears. We talk with one of the lionesses about this phenomenon and she tells us that this must be an omen, foretelling the end of the Pride Lands. She explains that Simba hasn't done anything since he came into power and they want him to take action now. On behalf of His Majesty, I have to let you know that the king knows about your concerns. But holy cow, this golf match right now, he is about to break his personal record. And indeed, Simba truly is preoccupied with doubting himself, wondering what his father would have done. Goofy rightfully notes that his father is in the great kitten box in the sky now and won't help him. He has to find his own path, not that of his father. That little speech gave Simba the needed courage to move on. Before we set out, Nala wishes us the best of luck.
I'm counting on you, Simba. And so is our baby.
She is pregnant? How long have we been gone? Certainly no more than a few weeks. So that's why nothing in your administration gets done.
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
We pay a visit to Rafiki to ask what to do about the evil ghost, and he explains that the evil soul of Scar is feeding on Simba's hesitating heart. Rafiki thinks Simba is ready to be a king in his mind, but not truly in his heart. If that's the case, back to exile. Here I go Hakuna Matataing again! He continues to explain that the hyenas may be no more, so we catch them one by one. When we talk to them, they cast doubt on Simba's leadership, which makes Scar's ghost appear. The spirit adds fuel to the fire until Simba can't take it anymore and runs off. Back at Pride Rock, Rafiki tells us Simba has to be in a place where he can think about stuff in peace. That place, of course, is the oasis where he grew up with Timon and Pumbaa. I was just kidding! Sora tries to talk to Simba, but he won't listen, so they use a trick. They wait until Scar's ghost returns to torture Simba some more, and when he does, they provoke him from far away, so much that he gets angry and finally overcomes his pussiness. Get it? Because he's a lion. Okay, I'm quiet now. Later, when Scar is about to hurt Nala, Simba looks him in the eye without fear and tells him to piss off. However, Scar has some power left and uses it to create a mountain of Heartless. We beat it and say goodbye to everybody. Rafiki ensures us that the battle between good and evil will never ever end. We are forever trapped in an endless circle. And the only way to overcome it is to join the forces of evil. For evil only needs to win once. At least that's the message that I get from it. And he immortalizes our pictures in his cave. You see that? You see that, Phil? I do great things, you recognize I do great things. It's not that complicated. Anyway, I thank you all for watching and I see you next time. Zgermanguy out and auf Wiedersehen.